Hello friends, this is Mike again, Spiral Messenger here. So I'm back with the Spiral Sessions series, and I have actually changed the name of it because I've been overthinking it, and it's now called Creativity Chronicles. So in this series, it's the same as I described before. We're making tracks from scratch in FL Studio with only Vital and drum samples in FL Studio. And so this is the first in the series of the first song we're going to make for Creativity Chronicles, and I have a quick little slideshow right here that we're going to go through. Just make a very simple idea of what we're doing. So Creativity Chronicles with Spiral Messenger. Creativity is freedom. So in this series, we are going to create sounds and tracks in FL Studio, and we're only going to use Vital. I've had this idea for a long time, and I keep putting it off and resisting it because I have problems being creative. I don't know if you have the same issue, but creativity is very difficult for me, but it's also very enchanting, and I love being creative. It's just I'm not good at consistently making sounds and investing the time and energy into an entire track. I'm just very initiatory, not very good at sustaining my creativity into songs. So I just want to get on and make stuff and stop thinking about it. So we're using Vital and drum samples in FL Studio, and also some free plugins like Span and Supermassive at some point, which are just free plugins you can download. They're very popular. They're not dangerous or anything. There's a few that are very good, but they don't cost anything. So creativity is a universal spiritual practice. Creativity is the art of making something out of nothing and expanding the universe by adding beauty to it. And I apologize if my voice is clipping. I'm still figuring out the volume here. So making something out of nothing it's a very magical experience to be able to do that. That's why I want to use Vital and explore sound design with you guys, because using presets and samples just isn't the same as building it completely on your own. And so beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's okay to make bad music, and it's better to make something instead of nothing. It's thinking that you have to make something perfect keeps so many people from just being creative, and I just want to obliterate all those barriers in this series and help you do the same, so we can just make stuff, man. Like, it's overthinking it is so easy, and we're just not going to do that. So we're just getting started. We're going to chart a course for the core of cosmic creativity. And so with that, going back to FL, first thing we're going to do is pull in Vital. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say right here in the menu for Vital, say detached. And I'm doing that because I'm going to put this one on my other monitor. This is a sound that I previously made. This is a really cool trance skate sound with filtered steps I made. And what I want to do is use this as kind of the core rhythmic idea for the track. And from this, I want to, obviously we're going to rebuild the sound completely from scratch, but we're going to use it as a template to build other sounds and create the track from these simple sounds using automation in FL Studio and modulation in the matrix in Vital. So we're going to bring in one other copy of Vital, instance of Vital. So here is a blank, just a regular old saw wave, and on the other side I have my sound we're going to be recreating. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to turn on a second oscillator in Vital by clicking right there. And what we're going to do next is up here is unison in Vital. I apologize if I'm not explaining everything really well. I'm just kind of trying to progress through this without babbling forever. Basically, this unison creates copies of this sawtooth. Here it's a little more buzzy. There's different copies slightly out of tune. So that's the settings for this. 5 voices, a 4% detune. And next we're going to go here in the second oscillator, click there, go to factory. We're only using basic waveforms in here. That's in the free version of Vital. I have other stuff too, but we're not using any of that. This is all free to use. So we're going to go to basic shapes. And this one is a wavetable with sine, little square sine, triangle, sawtooth, square, and then more pulse width modulated squares. So we're going to go to the sawtooth right there. Next we're going to turn the level of both of these all the way down. That's just the volume. So now if you hit your keyboard you won't hear anything. So here's the cool part. Over here, this is the LFO in Vital, which I think is the best part of Vital. It's just so well done. Anytime you work in the LFO over here, it's best to make it as big as you can. Right here you can control the X and Y grid. What I like to do whenever you're doing step sequences in here is go 16 for the X and 8 for the Y. So now you can control each of these. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a trance gate shape. So if you double click there, it does a point. It's like that. All right. And what we're going to do is, that's going to start in the bottom, drag this one to the top, double click again, just like that, and then pull that down. Pull this one all the way down. So if you know, if you can read music, like playing a piano, regular sheet music, this is the equivalent of, you know, probably 16th or 8th notes if you were reading music. But in Vital, it's just with these little steps. Maybe it's a little more straightforward. I've never really put time into learning sheet music. I don't enjoy it. I play piano a little bit, just improvise. But yeah, anyway, so what you do is you keep double clicking and create this shape right here. So you have a sound coming through here and it's muted here. Sorry, we haven't connected it to the volume yet, but that's what this is going to be controlling. So there you have sound and it's cut, sound and it's cut, and then you have 3 and it's cut, and then the sequence will restart. And with the sequence you can copy it just like we did before on the other side. Just double click and move the points. It takes a little getting used to, but once you get it down, it's really simple and it's really enjoyable. Vital is just, I love it. It's just so great. That's why I want to dedicate this whole series to it. So there you have it. The sequence restarts right there. See? So you have note, silence, silence, note, 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 silence. That is the trance gate pattern. It's a very common pattern. So what we're going to do now is we're going to drag it to the level of each of the 2 oscillators. Just like that. And now you have these little circles, and if you look at the level, you can see it's controlling how much volume it's going to let through. In arpeggiators, this control is a lot of times called like the gate control. And in Vital, you can just build anything if you know how to do it. And that's what I'm here to help you guys learn how to do. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to raise the semitones for the second oscillator by 7. This is going to be the 7th. I'm not a music theory expert, but I can tell you that this is one of the most favorable sounds you hear in the style of music. This is really like a trance style. I love trance. It's the first type of electronic music I really fell in love with. And so that's kind of what we're going for here. But you know, genres is really just a suggestion. My favorite musicians kind of just create their own genre and become their own musical archetype. So you can experiment. That's what is so fun about sound design. So the next thing we're going to do is go to LFO 2. And we're going to create, or actually we can just go ahead and play this. Here's what it sounds like. That's a common sound you hear in trance. Sorry, my headphones are too loud. I'm blowing my ears off. So that's the sound we're going for. That's the basic sound, but we're going to make it so much cooler. Next, we're going to go to LFO 2. And we're going to do the same thing. 16th, X grid, 8, Y grid. That's just how I do it. I don't think you have to do the Y grid like that, but this time we're going to create some filter modulation with LFO 2 for the same sequence. So double click again with the left click on the mouse and create this pattern. This time it's not staying open completely. This time we're going to be closing the filter to create a really cool effect for the trance gate. And if I haven't said it already, I originally learned this sound from Sam Smyers on YouTube. He did this tutorial in Serum, and I kind of adapted it here for Vital. So I'm going to give him credit in the info for the video. And so all I'm doing here is I am tracing out the pattern we just made slightly differently. There's a point missing here for each one because this is going to be closing the filter envelope for each sound as it comes through the filter. So there you have it. So you have sound, silence, sound, silence, sound, 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 silence, and repeats. Okay. And then one more quick thing you can learn in the, oops, that's not it. If you hold shift and do this right here and drag a point, you can control all of the decay curves at once. And so we're going to experiment with that. Right there in the middle, it's good for now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn on filter 1. And right here you can have routing options. We have oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. Turn that on. They're going to come through the filter. And now what we're going to do is drag the LFO2 we just made to the cutoff for the filter. All right. And we're just going to put this around just about here. It doesn't have to be exact. And a really cool shortcut I'll teach you is hold down Alt on your keyboard and click right here on the modulation amount for LFO2 going into the cutoff, and you can enter a amount. It's really cool. It's really good for sound design like this. Put 79.85. That is the setting that I had previously made. So it's basically just opening it up all the way. See the green line right there? This is going to be opening up the filter and then closing it quickly each time this decay curve goes down. So now, let's hear how it sounds different. Pretty cool, right? That filter change makes a big difference. Now we're going to do some effects. The effects really bring it to life. we're going to do compressor, we're going to do reverb, and we're going to do delay. Delay is going to go first, then reverb, then compressor. Alright, for delay, we're going to do ping pong, 8th note delay for each side. Delayed is just a feedback effect that causes the sound to echo. Feedback, put it at about 34, 35. Remember, hold Alt, click, type 34, 35. There you go. Mix is going to be just about 18%. Remember, hold Alt, click, 18%. Cutoff, just about 73. You can approximate these by using like the hand position on a clock. I do that a lot. So 12 o'clock basically. Spread down to about 0.2. Or actually about 0.25. Alright. Now we're going to reverb and turn low cut to about 33 semitones. High cut all the way. Okay. Low is going to be, this doesn't have to be exact, just this is what I had originally made. Low and high. For low, turn this almost to 0. Gain just about here. Time about here. Size just about 35. Sorry if I'm going too fast. Time was like 0.23. Mix right there. Now for the high. Cut off just about 95. Gain, I think it's just default. About right there. About minus 1.8. And all of these mix just about 9 o'clock. Size, pretty much the same. And that's that. Okay. Now for compressor, we're going to multi-band. Mix is going to be about 0.4. Low. These three are actually about the same. Lower the tack a little bit lower. Compression is about dynamic range control. You can use compression to make quiet parts of a sound louder and louder parts quieter. That's a very quick way to explain it. I'm not that good at it, but I have a basic understanding. So now we have 3 effects going for our sound. Let's check it out. That is the sound. So this is our bass sound we're using for the song. And yeah, this is playing with 2 octaves. Oops. So there you have it. That is the first sound we're going to make for the song, the Trance gate sound. I love this sound. One more quick thing we'll do is I recommend downloading Span, which is a free equalizer plugin. See it right here. I don't know if equalizer is the right word, but it just lets you see frequencies. So if we're playing, you can pretty much see them really well. Yeah, such a fun sound. As you can see, this sound is very full frequency. It's taking up lots of the spectrum. So this is a sound that would not go well with other sounds at the same time. We're going to have to use filtering and equalization and filters to control it and mix it with other sounds. And so, yeah, I recommend getting Span that has an option to make dark mode like this, which I recommend. And that's pretty much what I wanted to do for the first video. I hope it hasn't been too long. We're still recording, I believe. That's good. So yeah, this has been part 1 of Creativity Chronicles, and it's been hard for me to just break the ice and start doing it. And I hope I help other people feel strong enough to just do the same. Let's just make some sounds. And I will be seeing you guys again in part 2. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.